Sex. Enough said, that word right there. Everything that comes with sex. You should make them wait. Is there a 90-day rule? So many different things go into your thought process when you talk about sex. Well, that's what we're talking about today. Stay tuned. SEX. Nah, I just wanted to start that like that. But yeah, on a serious note, when we talk about sex, in a broad spectrum, we talk about how long do you make them wait? How long are you willing to wait? Sex in the workforce, all these aspects. Right. How important is it for your relationship to be successful? All these aspects when you think about it. Even if it's coming from a religious standpoint, but even if it's not, how important is it? How do you wait until marriage? What?
All these questions.
You know, there's a lot of different ways you can diversify that, right? You can take it from the guise of, you know, I have a genuine respect for this young woman, and I don't think so much the relationship is predicated on the sex because, of course, we've never taken it there, we've never conversed about it, but we have a good time with each other, right? And then you meet someone where that energy is just uncanny, you know what I'm saying? Like you feel it when you meet her, you're like, I want to take it there, and she's thinking the same thing, but everybody's gun shy, right? And then you have Steve Harvey said, well, Steve Harvey was living his life long before he said that, right? So I'm always really struggle with that. I've been in relationships where I paced it, and then I met women and I was like, you know what, and this a lesson me, long time. But I've been in situations where I met a woman and I was like, you know what, we going 3 days, and if we don't get there by day 3, I'm gone. Right?
Real life.
You're straight up. You know.
So what do you think that is based off of? Because like you said, I mean, I'm in a moment where we're not even thinking about it. I want you, but again, like our intellectual side and our mentality is just so strong that we got this chemistry and it's not even sex based. It's straight off of just a connection mentally, and then, but that makes me want you even more. That connection is like that. So I mean, how do you base it? Like, what do you base it off of, ladies?
I think it's very person specific. I think it depends on, I don't know, first of all, it's really taboo for women to even approach that topic, I guess. Like, for a woman to make the first move, or for a woman to, like, I guess, initiate that part of a relation is very taboo. But, you know, the way I look at it is, if you're meeting somebody and you're clear about what you want the end goal to be, clear that you want a relationship or you want, you know, whatever XYZ that may be, I think that you can set that up in the beginning to where there doesn't have to be a timeline as like, okay, well, we're gonna go on 3 dates and then we're gonna, you know, take it there. But I think that if you see yourself as somebody, you know, long term, obviously you wanna stay with somebody that's gonna satisfy you, you know, in all kinds of ways, not just physically, not just mentally, not just emotionally, you know? And I think that at that point, if you meet somebody and you tell yourself, like, this is somebody that I can see myself in long term, I think, personally, you gotta test drive before you sign the lease, you know? But it's a slippery slope.
That's good hearing from a woman. I've heard a man say that. I haven't heard.
But it's a slippery slope though, because, you know, I personally have been in a relationship for a long time, and it was a completely unhealthy relationship, and I stayed because of sex, like 1000%. Because for women especially, like once you get comfortable around somebody, you know, I don't want to go through the motions again with somebody else. I don't want to go through the awkward, like, hey, like, this is what my body looks like, welcome, you know. So it's a double-edged sword, because sometimes you can get so caught up on the I guess, physical part of it that you forget that there's a whole other part to the relationship that you need to nurture as well, you know.
Right. Cool.
Yes.
I think if you have the connection, just go for it, you know. So.
I like that perspective.
I respect that perspective.
So do you guys think that there's how do you feel about a 90-day rule, or how do
I
you
don't
feel
think
about
I
that?
can go 90 days. I mean, I think that's a really long time, and I feel like that, like, the timeline is just, if it happens, it happens. I'm just that person, like, I just go with the flow. So.
Are you worried about being viewed a different way if you're sooner, or if you do it sooner? Or maybe do you view them a different way if they do it sooner? Like,
myself personally, I don't. I think it's a lot of question, right? Because people are gonna have a perspective about you regardless.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are outsiders that have perspectives about each and every one of us just on the basis of what they think, right? never done anything around them, never said anything to them. But it's like, I presume this about you because, you know, your energy says one thing and your personality is too comfortable with everybody, so I think this is what you've done.
Mhm.
And you got people that are completely in a shell, like, I don't know where you got that from. You know, like, for instance, I used to live in a shell a little bit, and some days I get out of my shell,
Mhm.
right? But that doesn't predicate anything for, you know, how you move with people and interactions, and you might meet someone and just have no desire to sleep with them, but their company is just too great, you know, to give away.
Mhm.
You know, and then I too have been in a situation where I was like, you know what, this is gonna carry over because you have incredible sex, and that's really where it stops.
Mhm.
Everything else is toxic,
Mhm.
right? I'll give you guys some personal insight. I dated a young woman for, you know, a slew of years. We had great sex. Everything else was really strained. She kept my car one night. I left.
Mhm.
Went back the next day, it was back at it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's, the
Because
toxicity is there, but the physical is like, it's driven by
It's
passion.
kind of like
Yeah.
fatal attraction.
Yes.
Man, and then the love just feels different with that.
Yeah.
You know, as to where if everything is just really calm, it's kind of like, yeah, you know, we have a great rapport, I'm very happy. I don't know if I can find this somewhere else, but I'm willing to chance it. You know,
Yeah.
everybody has that, so.
I feel like the conversation of sex is always a tabooish type of thing where at any particular moment, everybody's thinking it. But who's gonna
You better
step
not
out on
say.
that leap and you know, after a week, 2 weeks, and really just have that conversation, like, our vibe is there. What do you feel about taking it there? Like, I've been in scenarios where it's just happened because the vibe was there. There's been other times where I feel like, okay, I need to say something. I need to verbally bring it to this woman because maybe the vibe isn't fully there. Maybe the sex could get the vibe there, so having to voice it. But a lot of people seem to be standoffish to actually really talk about it, and
And I think that comes with you thinking too much, like we think too much instead of just going with the flow. They're worried about what that other person's gonna feel or what they think or, you know, how they're gonna be viewed. And other people might just be insecurity with themselves, with their body. It could be a man or a woman, and those things might play a part into if you talk about it or how further you go with it. Another question, what about partners? Let's say they've messed with your homie. Girls, let's say they dated your friend, messed with your friend.
But you mean like they've
They
physically take,
physically-
oh yeah, no. I can't. That's double dipping,
It's
I
like a
can't.
girl rule, and it's
It's
just,
a
I don't
girl.
wanna talk about the same person, it's just
Yeah.
nasty.
Even if they just hooked up one random night
years
and
ago.
years, they didn't even, but you didn't know right away. You established this connection with this man. You guys been dating a couple months,
And then you find out
and then
eventually?
you find out.
Um,
I'm thinking about it now. That's
I
different.
think I think I would have to still think about it. I think like I would talk to the guy and ask like, so what happened with that situation? Like, you know that was my girl, but you like didn't tell me. I don't know, I think it would be a little complicated, but I personally don't think I could do it just because it's like that's one of my girls and it's just awkward when we're all like together.
Yeah. What you about to say, Will?
No, but yeah, so I think societal rules say that you shouldn't do things of that nature because it's like, well, wait a minute, they mess with my friend. Like, how can I have a relationship with someone like that? I know this, but how could you miss out on a rapport if it's great enough, man? I mean, you have to think to yourself, 5 to 10 years down the road, you're not going to be thinking about that one kind of instance where whomever slept with whomever.
That kind of reminds me of Best Man Holiday when the best man slept with.
That's true.
Straight up.
Yeah,
That's
so
tough.
that kind of reminds me of
It's
that
like,
because I'm
that
done.
relationship
Yep.
was greater,
Yep.
right? Than just something that happened one night
mhm.
in college or over, drinks
Drunk
and
and, yeah, I guess in that
hanging out.
sense it's.
Like, as a culture, man, I think we're too stringent with things like that, right? Like, you have to take your time, like, really feel it out. Like, I would think about this in 5 years,
I agree.
but I'm feeling her.
Yeah.
Or ladies like, you know what, I like this guy. Like, he really might be good for me. Maybe he wasn't good for her.
Mhm.
He didn't disrespect your friend. He put his hands on your friend. That just didn't work. And I think that's things we have to consider.
That's a good
There's a lot of
perspective.
factors.
I couldn't do it, but that's a great perspective.
But that's fair,
Right,
Because
right.
it's just a feeling that you probably
Right.
assess that.
Right.
I guess it
Right.
also depends on how close you are to that friend too.
Mhm.
Because if you're really
Right.
close and you guys are together, like
That's fair.
all the time and you guys are roommates or something, it's kind of like awkward. I'm like, oh, okay, that person's coming in your room, but he was with me, you know?
Yeah, like,
But
that's just
I guess
you.
if it's someone who's not that close to you, it could be a little different because it's like, okay, I don't really see you. Like we meet together during little outings and stuff, but I guess it depends on like how close you are to the person as well.
Great points. But would you, men, would you guys actually like take them? Of course you might physically.
Yeah.
Would you take them seriously to the point where I could see a future with her?
I could.
Yeah, I definitely could. I to the point that Will made, I totally agree with not missing out on what could be great purely based off someone having sex with somebody else. Sex is important to me, but in terms of happiness in a relationship, I'm not going to let that deter from what I potentially see with this woman. Like, it's not going to be something where I'm like, man, she hooked up with my boy, and let that really weigh as an option. Like,
That's
you know what I mean? It really just depends on how you really feel about that woman. That's honestly what it comes down to.
So I have a question for the guys. Do you guys ever ask a girl like what her number is and like what's a high number or what's a low number for you? Okay, so that's how it goes too.
I have, for sure.
I have, I don't
Like,
care.
we're saying, I mean, some odd years ago, like, if we're just having a jumping conversation, I might
Right.
inquire, but now I'm like,
Right. But I feel like based off of how, I mean, again, this is experiences. Based off of how the woman moves and how she works, I can tell if it's a higher number than usual. And based off of her performance, I mean,
But like, okay, so
Or depending on how she acquired all those numbers.
well, for me, I was in a 6-year relationship, and versus someone who's been single all those 6 years could have a higher number, but versus me, I could have a lot of experience too. 'Cause I've been with that person
that's true.
during all those 6 years.
It's definitely true.
So it's like, what number do you average as like a number based on their age, you know? So
Again, I think that's just different to whoever the person is, really, and it just depends on who you are.
all right, so based on, again, societal rules, right? Have we set like a heightened number that's just, you know, this is out of the question as far as men and women and ladies, do you guys have a number where you're like, there's no way?
I don't know. I mean, I think for men it's different because I think men are more likely to have. No, I don't even want to say it like that because there's women
But we
like that
know,
too.
we know.
But men are able to have sex purely for sex. I don't think women are able to disconnect the physical from the mental as much. So I think a high number for a woman speaks differently of her than of a man, not in a promiscuous kind of way, but in the way that she tries to connect to people. You know, some women, I know plenty of women that have sex with men really early on because they want to see that's something that they can carry along with. You know what I mean? So then in that sense, if a woman knows that that's part of the equation that she needs to be secure in a relationship or in whatever she's dealing with, you know, she may have experienced a lot more. But some men, you know, I think that a lot of young guys, before they realize that there's a connection between the two and when they're just trying to, you know, please themselves rather than please the woman, they go through an array of women.
So that's great. Last question before we wrap this up. So if the performance isn't great, but everything else is there, are you getting out? Are you communicating?
I would just communicate that we might need to work on it. I don't know, maybe use some toys, stuff. I don't know, just because I feel like if the sex isn't good, then it's like it kind of ruins that part of the relationship where it's like I need some good intimacy in my life as well. So
I mean, I've been in a relationship where sexuality wasn't there, but everything else was perfect. I mean, literally to the highest of the T. We just didn't do that. I mean, it was very different, right? Because that's cool, but this is great, you know? But I can say in that relationship, I had a great deal of fun. And I always look back to it like, man, if I can live like this with women, like, I think this needs to be my standard. Like, we have our own independent standards as we grow.
Right. Physically, you needed something else.
Man, I really, you know, but, you know.
Right.
I feel like with sex being an activity, it can be taught to be better.
Absolutely.
Right.
My longest relationship was with a virgin. By the end of it, there was nothing she wouldn't do. You know what I mean? So it's. I feel like there's ways of opening someone up to certain things in order to make sex great within a relationship.
But I feel like sometimes if a woman or a man isn't satisfied, they go elsewhere, but still stay in a relationship. That's how cheating occurs.
Well, I think the important thing is we have to communicate and get what we like.
So communication.
Step out your comfort zone,
Yeah.
talk about
And
it.
talk about it. And-
But see,
and-
men don't, the thing is, women are receptive to it, but men get a little weirded out
We
by
can't,
it.
we can't think so much, I think we think too much about the whole word as a form instead of just living and against society views and what our old school or what our parents have portrayed. We think about all those aspects instead of just living our life to the fullest and doing what makes us happy. But thank you guys, I appreciate y'all, this was fun.
Love.
Thank you
No
guys.
sex.